Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen we're making a flavorful, fresh strawberry bread. So let's get started. First off, set your oven to 350 and we want to prep our strawberries. I have 1 cup or 250 grams of strawberries. Give them a good wash, and now I'm going to hull them and dice them. We want smaller pieces for this bread, so the strawberries just infuse throughout as opposed to having big chunks that stay wet. Little pieces like that. So this is called strawberry bread. I didn't name this recipe. It should almost be called strawberry loaf cake. It's a pillowy, soft, melt in your mouth quick bread filled with fresh strawberries, and best part of all, it's topped with a fresh strawberry glaze that's beautiful with lots of color and just full of flavor. Once your strawberries are all prepped, we're gonna transfer these to a small bowl, set them aside, and move on to our dry ingredients. Now in a large bowl, I'm combining 2 cups of flour, that's 240 grams, and if you can, use a scale. If you can't, fluff the flour in your canister and then sprinkle it into your measuring cup and level it off. If you just scoop, it's gonna be way too much flour and you're not gonna have a light melt in your mouth texture. It'll be bready and dense. For a bit of balance, I want half a teaspoon of salt, and to puff things up, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You can thank the invention of baking powder and baking soda, which didn't become popularized until the 1800s, for making all these delicious cakes possible. Before this, you would have had either a dense cake that was delicious but really dense, or things would be fluffed up with frothed egg whites, which is delicious but quite time intensive and doesn't work with every recipe. Grab a whisk. And now it's time to give our flour a whisk. Our scale is done. Mix up those dry ingredients. This bread is so lovely, it is gonna be disappearing in a flash. Super moist, full of fresh strawberry flavor, and it's it's better than strawberry cake. It's better than most recipes for strawberry cake. Just put that out there. By the way, if you love delicious things, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's 2 new recipes every single week, lots of shorts, and always something delicious along the way. Once this is all mixed up, set it aside, grab another medium bowl, and we're gonna get our wet ingredients together. I'm measuring out 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. Sugar actually counts as a liquid in recipes. In case you didn't know, it does melt after all. So using a volume measuring cup is totally fine. That's 150 grams. I also want half a cup of whole milk, or 120 mils. 1 large egg to hold everything together. It gives you some structure. Half a cup of vegetable oil. You could use any mild oil that you like for this though. It does not have to be vegetable oil. And the reason we're using this instead of butter is really for softness. Most people are gonna have some of their bread or cake and then put the rest away for later. That should live in the fridge, and if it's cold, your butter-based cake or bread will be rock hard and unpleasant to eat. But if it's made with oil, it can come out and be super soft and silky and delicious. And 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla for some lovely flavor. If anyone has cake that's left over, I always tell them to warm it up in your microwave, 50% power for 20 seconds, just like you would soften butter. That'll make the cake delicious. Give this a good mix. You really want to break the egg up and just make sure it's silky smooth. All right, this looks lovely and silky. I'm setting this aside, and our strawberries have 1 bit of final prep at the end. I want my strawberries to float in my batter and not sink to the bottom, so tossing them with 2 tablespoons of flour will give them a little bit of assurance that they stay where they should. Basically, the flour will help the strawberries trap a little bit of air, and that should keep them from falling. It'll also make them less slippery. Okay, good. Just a nice gentle toss. Now everything can come together. But before we assemble anything, grab either a 9x5" loaf pan or a 1-pound loaf pan. This is slightly smaller. And I like using the smaller pans because your cake, your bread is gonna be taller, just looks prettier. You can prep your pan with some baking spray. I'm just gonna add a bit of butter. It's time to combine, and you could add the wet to the dry or the dry to the wet. It doesn't matter. I'm just pouring this in slowly and folding with my spatula as we go. You'll mix this gently until it is almost fully combined. A few streaks of flour here or there are fine, But do scrape the bowl down because things lurk at the bottom. Unseemly things that have not been mixed. Now it's time to fold our strawberries in, plop them all in, and just mix gently to distribute. And notice I'm doing this all by hand. I do not want to overmix this batter because it'll take it from being cakey, melt in your mouth, fluffy and amazing, to soggy, gummy, and dense. That's what happens when you overmix. It's very sad. Okay, that's great. You'll also notice this is a thicker batter. It's thicker because all those strawberries will release water during the bake and bring it to the proper consistency. Grab your prepared pan and we're gonna transfer our batter in. That looks so pretty with all the pink strawberries in there. Smooth the batter out just to give it a nice even start for the bake. Ooh, I love seeing all those strawberries on top. My strawberry bread is ready to go into the oven, 350 for 55 to 60 or so minutes, or until a wooden skewer comes out of the center clean. While it bakes, we'll make our delicious strawberry glaze. In you go. Our glaze is so easy. We're gonna grab about 3 large strawberries to end up with about 3 tablespoons of diced strawberries. Just like before, give them a hull and a quick dice. These are gonna get mashed up, so don't worry about being precise or anything. We're just kind of getting them into small pieces. If you want your glaze to have more strawberry color and flavor, just use an extra tablespoon. This is actually 4. And I did not need 3 large strawberries. 2 medium strawberries is fine. Plop that into a bowl. I'm reserving these. They could either go in my smoothie after this, or I could put them in the glaze for even more strawberry flavor if I wanted. Grab a fork and just mash your strawberries up to really break them down and get that juice out. This just has the loveliest color and it's so easy to make. You can use this for strawberry muffins. You could use this as a glaze on tons of different things. Strawberry cookies too. To my mashed strawberries, I'm adding 1 cup or about 110 grams of powdered sugar. Sprinkle it in. I'm gonna work this together with a fork to get it started. Look at that color, so nice. To help this come together, I'm adding a teaspoon of whole milk. Oh my gosh, I love it, and it tastes so good. Look at that. Once your glaze is done, cover and set aside. It will dry out quickly. If you want, you can make this right as your strawberry bread is cooling and pour it straight on. The strawberry bread might disappear in a flash, but if you can manage to save some for later, it keeps in your fridge for up to 5 days. Just make sure it's well covered, or in your freezer for up to 2 months. Again, make sure it's well covered. Once your strawberry bread is baked, allow it to cool in the pan for 10 minutes, then remove and transfer to a wire rack to cool completely. Once it's cooled, we can add our delicious strawberry glaze on. Just spoon it all over the top. Give it a slice and it's ready to enjoy. Perfectly sweet, fluffy on the inside with a nice crisp golden shell, and that strawberry flavor is amazing. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe, and if you like this video, hit that subscribe button and check out my strawberry playlist.